in-game highlight reels, and even more than that. Go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com or search Sports Broadcast Solutions on YouTube. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. At SBS, we offer a professional broadcasting experience for the non-professional athlete. Just like the pros, we offer everything for you. Play-by-play commentary.
A no-hitter at Kane County Stadium. 15 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 error, and that's it.
Color commentary, highlight reels, recruiting videos, and much, much more. Unlike our competitors, we zoom in on the action and always have a live scoreboard with a live time code. If you're ready to have your next sporting event feel like CBS Sports, then make sure to call Sports Broadcast Solutions today. Our phone number is 330-957-7653, or you can go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports.
4 games down, 4 to go for this playoff hockey marathon on Sports Broadcast Solutions. The CSDHL Bantam Red 1. We're going to have one of these two teams advance to the title game. It's winner take all. The Peoria Mustangs versus the Affton Americans coming at you in just over a minute or so. Steve, these two teams won their 2 respective playoff games before this. They've been great all season. We'll start with the number 1 overall team, the Peoria Mustangs, 15-5 in the regular season. They finished top of the Bantam Red 1, plus 43 goal differential. What do you like about these Mustangs that we saw earlier this morning?
Now, the big thing about the Mustangs is that we've now seen firsthand how much they can score. 9-0, just stomping all over the Sabres. A really solid showing this morning. But the big thing is to try and keep them in mind with some of the discipline. Their last regular season game was a 3-2 win over St. Pete. That first goal that St. Pete got started because of a 5-minute major penalty and a 2-minute minor leading to a 5-on-3. So you got to make sure you stay out of the box. They were second in the league in the regular season, but that includes some of the scrimmage games, and they're 3-1 coming into this with all the regular season contests against Affton. Now, the big thing there is that with that 3 wins to 1 loss, the goal differential for these teams was equal. Afton had an early 5-0 shutout against Peoria Mustangs, but they switched it right back up, 3 wins in a row, but 15 goals apiece throughout the season.
An interesting point to make. The challenger to the top-seeded Peoria Mustangs, the Affton Americans, who, with a win here, whether it comes in regulation or overtime, would put themselves in to the title game as the representative of the Bantam Red 1 first bracket. What does Affton have to do to make sure they can close that gap between them and this first-seeded team, and make sure they go out there, catch the W, and play for a title tomorrow?
You got to shut down the big goal scorers, and it starts with Paxton Zeiser. Paxton Zeiser had a hat trick in his last showing here for the Peoria Mustangs, and you really got to shut him down. Before the game was over, we got another one from Easton Schott and a couple from Stetzler, one from Stetzler, Brody Stetzler. Great performance by the Mustangs, and you really just got to shut down their goal scorers and stay out of the box. Now, that's simple to say in theory, but you got to make sure that you execute. Now, for common opponents, we've got a 4-7 win for the Affton Americans earlier today on the other rink, and a 6-3 win against the Glenview Stars in Gurney by the Peoria Mustangs. So the goal differential is the same, both having a 3-goal win over the Glenview Stars, but 7-4. Now that's where the tiebreaker will come into play. It's not just goals, it's goals for. It's not just the goal differential. So scoring 7 goals against Glenview may come back and be a significant thing. However, 9 goals against the Sabres will really get the Mustangs to stand out.
However you want to slice it, folks, these two teams are very well known. Great programs offering great results with great players. The Affton Americans donning aptly the red, white, and blue uniforms, the red the main color. The Peoria Mustangs, white jerseys, blue trim, off and running, and that puck almost hit a woman in the stands to start things off. It's not funny, but I thought we were going to have a nice moment of off and running, and we almost had a woman get hit.
Got to be mindful about it.
first period. Thanks for joining us here on this Saturday afternoon on Sports Broadcast Solutions. Alongside Steve Taylor, I'm Andy Diedrich. Again, we've seen a lot of this Bantam Red 1 today. We saw the Yellowjackets and the Falcons earlier on the other side of the round-robin bracket. Of course, we saw Peoria dismantle the Sabres 9-0. We've seen a whole lot of hockey in a real short amount of time, Steve, and I think the keys are remaining the same. Correct me if I'm wrong. Defense has been the name of the game so far. You need to stick to the fundamentals. Let the other team make those mistakes. Capitalize on them yourself.
100%. And we can talk about rest. The big thing about rest here is that we're talking about a difference of maybe an hour, 2 hours. The Mustangs played at our second game, I believe it was around 9:30 in the morning, and then right at the conclusion of that, about 10:30 at the other rink, is when the Affton Americans last took the ice. So we're not talking about too much of a difference, but this is the second game for both of these teams. Winner take all. It's going to be exciting, but we got to see that these guys might be gassed. Sizer not showing any start or any gassing so far, already coming out swinging.
Those who are with us this morning for that first Peoria matchup, remember, Paxton Sizer scored the first of his hat trick 7 seconds into that game against the Sabres. Wanted to have a quick start here. No dice this time. The Affton Americans front. Their goalie, Zane Pruitt's getting the start in this crucial playoff matchup right now. And he's going up against another top-tier talent. Logan Flynn pitched that shutout earlier against that Sabres game we mentioned before.
Logan Flynn back in the pipes, really just starting off great. Now, you said no dice, and I know you were making a joke, but Dice is back out there.
It's an important distinction. Brody Dice, D-E-I-S-S, pronounced Dice, had a goal earlier and had his hands in more than a couple of these scoring efforts for the Peoria Mustangs. We get a stoppage with 12:30 on the clock in the first period. If you're just joining us, 14-minute periods at this Bantam 4TU level. We play 3 periods. They do not cut the ice with a Zamboni between any of them. It does go to overtime, which we've seen more than a couple times today. 5 minutes, sudden death, 3-on-3 pond style. But the one rule that remains the same at all levels of sport, that is an icing.
Launch it down the ice and it'll bring it right back. This is a rule, a secondhand information, so we'll see how the fact checkers work on YouTube Live. But a rule that began between the New York Americans and the Boston Bruins, who kept throwing the puck down the ice at one another just to give each other grief, make them chase it, and now we have an icing rule to bring it down to the other end of the ice.
Flynn with a glove save. We saw probably a dozen and a half of those earlier this morning. Let's see if he has a couple more in him. Remember, we said it to start the broadcast, but these two teams winning both of their previous playoff matchups, which means the winner of this one will move on as the representative from the Red 1 first bracket in the title game tomorrow. Puck's going to drop here on this green rink at 10:20 a.m. at the Recplex in Pleasant Prairie. Now, the hypothetical, Steve, if this game does go to overtime, but that 5-minute period ends in a tie, Peoria would advance because that tricky goal differential, that 9-0 win really put them ahead in the GD.
And it sticks out. We were talking at that game of like, you want to be the honorable coach and the honorable team that's not just throwing goals in and just wailing on the other team, but those goals make a difference, and this is a tournament. You have to play smart.
Cam Hammer, aptly named, shooting wide, but an absolute rocket off of his stick. That's the second save of the day by Pruitt. Prewitt? What are we going with there, Steve? Probably Prewitt, phonetically speaking. Want to get the young man's name right. He's been tremendous already, it seems like.
I'll call him Pruitt, but you can just call him a fantastic goaltender. Great start so far.
Zane Prewitt, ZP. Not sure if he likes ZP. We might have to start that. He's 14. He has time to develop nicknames.
Oh, call him Zapper.
I like that.
I've been in a few hockey locker rooms.
We mentioned some of the goal scorers for Peoria earlier, as there is Prewitt making another save. Easton Schott had a goal. Paxton Sizer with his hat trick. Brody Stelzer had 1 goal, probably 3 assists to go with that, to be honest with you. Brody Dice with 1, and Charles Pyle with the last one. That's 9 goals in 1 game. That's impressive as it is. When you shut out the other team on top of it, whoo boy,
Oh man, and that was not, this makes it seem like the Sabres were a bunch of pushovers, not even close. It was back and forth for most of the game. It's just the Sabres couldn't get one past old Logan Flynn.
Running the break, Liam Webb, good save there from Flynn. Good with the glove and good with the blocker side as well. Webb's now going to defend. There's Stesler right on cue. At the speed, he gets past the line. Now he's past the last line of defense. Wait to wrap around. Gets into the middle of the dice. Still rolling around in the slot. And go back away with the Americans. They want to match this pace of the Peoria team early. Sudden defense. Getting to his spot and shooting wide of Flynn's net. Absolute rocket off the stick of number 29, Gavin Stremlau. Backhanded chance. Sutton. Now up ahead. Dice was there with Pyle. Bain was the one trying to feed it up. Back in the neutral zone. Stesler off. Coming in to replace him, I believe, is Jobin Brown.
Can't quite connect on the pass to Opperman, and it's going to be a turnover. Looking to clear the zone right into Dice.
Brody Dice is one of those two-way players. Spinorama backhand, dump and chase. And that's a wise decision by Prewitt to go ahead and freeze that one. 9:45 on the clock. Not a lot of scoring yet. A bit of a switch-up for both of these teams, given their last two matchups had 16 goals combined between the two of them.
Neither team wants to give an inch. They know how much this game means, and they know what's on the line. Both of these teams want to play tomorrow, but it looks like it's only going to be one of them.
We're going to have another sad rendition of both these teams are really good. Why do one of them have to lose?
And I mean, I guess that's the magic of playoff hockey, as Taylor takes it in off sides. But that's what we gather around the rink for. That's why people come here, despite that it's really cold. They'll hold on to their ice cream and still enjoy it on ice.
I am pleasantly surprised about the amenities here at the Recplex. They had boba and bubble tea offered down there at the concession stand. I was just looking for a Diet Pop and maybe a couple Skittles. Walked away with just a sweet treat.
When I was in college, the North Carolina State Ice Pack Club hockey team, they were a real fun thing to watch down at Raleigh Center Ice. But as far as amenities, there were none. You may have a little bit of popcorn that was pre-popped and brought in. It was also BYOB, and then there was an old coffee machine, the kind that'll drop a cup and then fill it right in front of you.
Good thing these kids deserve better, right? And they're getting better here up in the Recplex. Pleasant Prairie, this Recplex, wonderful complex. We're going to mention it a bunch of times. We're going to pause for a moment as Affton has a chance here. Goes around Logan Flynn. This Recplex is the biggest recreational complex in America. I can't stress how important that is, as Affton had another chance there, but we're going to get it covered up. Landry Dix was in there charging. This Recplex is phenomenal, Steve.
It really is. It's a phenomenal facility. I've already told the story about how we showed up to the front of the building and they say, no, Ice Arena's round back. Just a lot of space out here. It's got a pool, it's got a beach, it's got fitness centers, and it's got a huge gymnasium. If we decide we want to end up on the hardwood before the night's out, we'll lace up and go one-on-one, Didi and I.
Just keep the stream going from the last game. Just televise the one-on-one. Let people trash talk in the live chat.
I'll throw up a brick or two. They'll have plenty to talk about.
All the parents that come and try to, say words and jeer the kids. Nah, boo us, if anything.
We're here to be the object of some ridicule, and it's fair as Stremlau looking to get it out of the zone, unable to do so. Knocked back in by Taylor.
The first appearance for Charlie Lind on the Affton defense. Now Affton back on O. 3 on 2 if they want to pursue it. Waiting out to the right, centering, no one's there. Back out to Smith. Wanted to take aim, big 67 was looking like he was ready to fire that one in. Webb to his teammate, one-timer's no good. Michael Sharmatero wearing 27. Almost hard to miss out there in that small frame, but how many guys have we had today, maybe smaller than 5'6", be key contributors on a lot of these big-time caliber teams?
And we talk about it, because Bantam is the level where you actually start to turn the corner. It's not a bunch of little kids on skates that are holding it down and just doing their best, and it's not a bunch of high schoolers about to be college-level players that are skating circles around everybody else. This is the middle ground, but you have to try out for these teams, and what a goal! Hammer knocks one home.
You talk about the talent of these teams, and they make you look good at your job, Steve. Cam Hammer throwing the hammer in the back of the net, fires it home. 1-0, the Mustangs are up early.
Oh my goodness. Just an absolute ripper. The heat on that one. It melted some ice up here.
Nothing like getting that chance to get as many steps in as you want and let that puck rip some nylon. 1-0 Peoria out to seemingly another fast start. Affton's faced some adversity this year. Of course, in this playoff matchup against the Sabres and Glenview, handled them single-handedly. But again, a 1-goal deficit. The key thing is, I think we saw in that other matchup for Peoria, is the Sabres let it get out of hand. And even when they thought they were still bought in early, the Mustangs just made them pay for it.
Absolutely. This is a team that you can't really give an inch to. You have to take what you can get. But we're already seeing Affton, and they're not really giving too much up. But that goal will make a difference. If you get the puck to fall your way like that, like the Mustangs have thus far, that'll be a long night for Affton.
Right, it's an important distinction. That goal wasn't necessarily after, wow, the Mustangs have had the puck for the entire time. Time on attack's been dominated their way. Affton's had some good shots at the net. I think if they continue up with that, is they got to get back and defend here real quick, which they successfully do, although charging in there, Mason O. Still looking to be a great hockey game. I don't think anybody in that Americans bench thinks that this one is anywhere close to over.
Not even a little bit. But you're really seeing a lot of the Affton skill here. As Wagner dumps it in, they're playing really smart hockey. They're sticking to their game plan, and it's really tough to do that, especially when you find yourself down early. It doesn't matter how early, whether it's a minute or in this case about 9 minutes. You got to stick to your game plan and not get too rattled. As Stremlau brings it in, looking for an opportunity, and knocked away.
Stremlau and a lot of these Affton skaters looking like they're trusting their ability so far, and like you said, can't get away from the game plan. Looks like they're going to stick with it. Going to have to be a touch, and will be frozen by Prewitt. Just under 6 minutes to go. Prewitt's been tested a good amount already. He's looked good. On the other end, though, we were saying the praises of Logan Flynn before. Looking like a lot of the same thus far in this one.
They got to find a way to solve Logan Flynn. Now, Glenview did break through. The Glenview Stars did have 3 goals against, I assume, Logan Flynn. We didn't actually get a name of the goaltender that was there that night, but unable to be solved today. He comes in with a shutout streak, and the time just keeps ticking as we have 14 minus 5, about 8 minutes of shutout time thus far, and now I'm going to be jinxing him.
I think I tried inadvertently to do it last time, so this time if it actually does happen to you, you are the cursed one. It's not me. Keep that in mind. Easton Schott wearing the 0-1 jersey off his defender skates, mirroring him closely, one of the double team Owen Shine.
Great job by Shine to keep the defender in front of him and the puck in front of him. Getting in front of the shot lane, letting it go off of his shin pad, but also not giving up the body either.
37, Miles Opperman. He's joined out there on the ice by Shine. Alongside Liam Webb and some others. Through the crease, Parks was charging in. Caden Parks wanted a big hit. Wasn't going to get it. Shine is going to let this one not get iced. So I think his bench saw a chance for them. But now Peoria aggressive on the forecheck. Back to Stesler, ever so dangerous. Behind the net to O.
One thing to keep an eye out for is the glue line for Affton. They've got to be quick. They've got to keep the hustle up. Shine actually was showing making a big play by just chasing after the puck at full speed because he was chased by Isaac Boehm of the Mustangs. The big thing is just making sure that you are making the plays. The 50-50 pucks will be decided by hustle, and if you can't get the 50-50 plays, then that could be the decision in the game.
Cam Hammer shot. Good defense from Landry Dix. Still gloved anyways by Zane Prewitt. Likes that glove side once again. I think we got 2 goalies that favor their glove side, but with the leather they've been flashing, it's really hard to blame them.
Really solid performance to start out the day.
Taylor wearing the captain's patch for the Affton Americans won that face-off, although it will stay in the possession of the Mustangs. In the corner is Zeiser. Now it's back out to neutral ice. There's Taylor, the captain, once again. Makes a move back to middle. Left it for Petker. And Wagers grabbed that. Charging in that wide side. Scary opportunity for Opperman if he got it in his possession. Dice gets past Smith, now back out to the blue line. Is it kept in? Just barely by the skates of Wagers and Pyle.
Landry Dix had a great opportunity, and he might have another one here as Petker brings it in.
Smothering defense delivered. This time it's Jobin Brown saying his praises that first game too. He's been great on both ends of the ice. I think defense might be the one they need him for, a little bit extra in. Continuing on through the neutral zone, Smith nutmegs his own teammate. Back up ahead, Dice. The passing ability, the chemistry of the connection between all these Peoria Mustangs is really second to none. Smith with Taylor past the blue line, charging in, trying to get his hands on it is Zeiser. Clock keeps ticking. The lone goal coming off of a Peoria Mustang stick. They lead 1-0. That goal scorer was Cam Hammer, 2:56 remaining.
We might have our first penalty of the day.
It appears that's exactly what it is. Heading into the box for the Americans, I believe that's number 42, Landry Dix. 2 minutes in the sin bin for Dix and company. And a power play for Peoria. Spelled doom the last time we saw them in action against the Sabres. Necessary PK for Affton.
And it's a tough tripping call to take. It didn't really buy you anything. It wasn't something that was an intentional move. It's just that, you know, you get caught up, you get your stick underneath, and you're really not sure where it's going to end up. And then sure enough, that tripping call bites him a little bit as Dix takes a seat.
Zane Prewitt gets a save 10 seconds into the power play, but if that attack's going to be this prolific for the next minute and a half and some change, might be a tough save for Prewitt. Back out to Hammer, redirect, sliding through the slot, and backhanded back to the neutral zone. Hammer goes back to collect. Miles Opperman goes to chase. Hammer through to his teammate. Shoot! Stousler wanted to go bar down and went up instead.
Michaela Knittel just a little slow to get back for that one. Those are the 50-50 pucks that we're talking about, and that's going to be the difference in the game.
Zeiser, another shot on goal. He's got two and hasn't netted a goal yet, but something's got to give if they're going to let AT keep getting these reps. Nobody touched it, wisely letting it drift by is Logan Flynn. Icing is the call. Going to get another puck in the zone. And no time left off the clock. I mean, we're going to talk about it one more time because people have varying different opinions on whether or not icing should be called when you're trying to kill a penalty. You say it's the right call?
I say it's the wrong call.
You say it's the wrong call.
But the reason I say it's the wrong call is just because it's preparing people for the next level. Like these kids, they're playing really high-level hockey, so it doesn't really benefit. Oh, just couldn't quite keep it in the zone there.
Mason Wagers, yep.
But it's really high-level hockey that we're seeing here, so it feels like a real injustice almost to not give these kids the opportunity to play with an NHL-style rule.
This is the CSDHL, of course, the top Tier 2 youth hockey league in the United States, serving Illinois and the Central States region. Puck's loose in the slot. Somebody's got to want it, and the Americans do. Short-handed chance, nearly an odd man rush, skating back to help. Dice, shot, save from Flynn, slow mover. Defense got there in the nick of time.
Made it just in time.
So the short-handed chance, what's important to mention, Peoria still got a power play for the next 21 seconds. And this first period that may expire shortly after that, the Mustangs could build on their current lead, make it a multi-goal advantage for themselves.
Really good opportunity for Affton, but it at least puts them in the driver's seat now that they're in their offensive zone on this penalty kill. It's going to be tough for them to take advantage of 21 seconds left on the power play. It's going to be tough for the Mustangs to get back to the other end and do anything more on this power play.
Stremlau. His shot went wide. Flynn with a good save. What else from Logan Flynn? That's going to wrap things up, though. The shorthanded attack from Affton helps negate that penalty kill. Or excuse me, perform the penalty kill, negate the power play. Back to 5-on-5, even strength. Shot goes around as we're about at 40 ticks left in the first period. Far corner, wrapped around to Stremlau. He's past the blue line. Nice move. It's still technically in if the stick of Peoria's, I believe that was Sessler, almost had it down, could have kept it in.
Dumped in by Charmatario, taking a hit with Stremlau.
Both these teams clearly came ready to play. Defensive grudge match, name of the game. Will that change here? As much as Cam Hammer wanted it to, a bit eager to do so. Offsides, 10.5 ticks remaining on the board.
Little too excited. Looked like it was Stetzler that was a little offside as Hammer brought in the puck.
Hard to blame Hammer, though. He's got the lone goal in this one. Wanted to stretch it to 2. Well, we've seen Peoria lightning fast on some of these faceoffs. Get a puck in the crease in the snap of a hat. Hammer's got a chance. Oh, off the post, and there's the buzzer. Sigh of relief on the bench of the Americans. Honestly, if you're either team, hard to complain about that period, Steve. Peoria leads 1-0. I think both teams feel like they're in a prime position to go ahead and win this one. What say you?
Oh, it's going to be an exciting one down the stretch. Peoria finds themselves with the advantage, but Affton's not far behind. You might see a real big surge in the middle period from the Affton Americans.
Second period coming up after this quick break here on SBS.
Home is more than a place. It's full of the people and moments that matter most. Providing for loved ones, expanding your horizons, or simply living the life you love. With all you have to protect, choose insurance you can count on, so you can experience more of what you live for. Country Financial. Experience more.
Second period of action about to start. Peoria, the lone goal on the board, 1-0. If this score holds, if the result holds, Peoria will be one of the representatives in the Bantam Red 1 championship game tomorrow, right here at the Recplex in Pleasant Prairie. Puck dropping at 10:20 a.m. The Americans of Affton have something to say about that, though. If they can pull out a win in this one, they would be the representative from the first bracket in this round-robin format. This game is far from over, Steve.
It certainly is. And they start out the period with all the center ice faceoffs. The Mustangs are doing their stick taps on the boards. They really want to control the energy in this one, and so far they have. But Affton's not out of this one yet. They just need to get the opportunities, as we almost saw one right there.
The ice is flipped. Goaltenders remain the same. Alongside Steve Taylor, I'm Andy Diedrich. Thanks for being with us on this Saturday afternoon. What other place would you rather be than watching playoff hockey? Peoria back at it. First in was Dice, Pyle, as well as Zeiser. Dangerous first line of the forwards there for Peoria. They're the ones fronting the offense currently. They're joined by Wagers. And now coming on is O. Shot, save, rebound, score! It was going to take a pretty impressive play to get a puck by Logan Flynn. Braxton Petker crashing, right place, right time. Equalizer goal, it's 1-1.
Exactly how they drew it up. Freddie Taylor bringing in the puck. He knew he had the clear lane to shoot as the passing lane was taken away, and that is why you shoot for a rebound. He was aiming for the opposite pad on Logan Flynn, and sure enough, ends up right in the wheelhouse of Braxton Petker, and now we have a tie ball game.
At no point did we see the Affton Americans balk at the chance, even when they went down 1-0 right now. Here they are back in the thick of it. Of course, we did mention if the game ends in a tie, the tiebreaker and the goal differential will go to Peoria. But the point of the matter is, now you only need one goal to go to the title game. And that's a heck of a lot better than having to score 2 goals. Math is hard, I know, but even I understand that.
You just have to control the energy, and so far in the second frame, we've already seen them start to control that energy as Boehm gets a nice shot off. The big thing is just staying in front of it. Keep the game in front of you and keep control of the game. As Shine brings it in, he's trying to do just that.
Yeah, Shine's got
Overby there in the center.
A nice move with the spin as well. Team coming to help him collect, but the pressure applied from Peoria. They just know they're confident in what their skaters can do. They're not afraid to let you have it. Cam Hammer, our first goal scorer, has got it in the neutral zone. Flanked by O and Stesler on the other side. Hammer to O. Flanking, wide, to the middle. Loose in the slot. Stesler flanks it back towards the goal, goes wide right. Loose stick will be grabbed. It was the Americans' Owen Shine. Now he's got it back. Called his name a whole lot so far.
Great defensive play by Shine. No stick, no problem. Gets his skates in front of the puck. Saves what could have been the go-ahead goal.
Bouncing through the neutral zone. Rolled there for a second. Referee says we're not calling icing. Play on. Wagers will go to grab it, with defense being brought by Alan Brand. Lemire Dermers entered the game for the first time. He's got a big old frame, and he sent that puck around. Now Dermers got it, get to his right, but he's double teamed. In and out of the zone, back in. Opperman, once again, we're going to ping pong that puck right back on the other direction.
And this is the hustle that I'm talking about. When you get the forecheck going with Opperman, Taylor out there, that's how you start to control the edge in the game.
Falling down for a minute there was Landry Dix. He's got to get back to his feet and help his team on offense. Taylor to his left. He's got a chance at the goal. What a save! Get in that leg out there, Logan Flynn. Have yourself an afternoon.
$1 million move, a great shot, and an even better save by Logan Flynn. It's going to be back and forth. We've got two people dueling, looking for anything they can get.
Hard hit and the board's absorbed. That was Dice going down, but he's immediately back to his feet and subbing out. If there's any other intangibles we can assign these guys, every single one of the players out there in the ice, certified tough.
And that's where I want to highlight something that's very specific about the game of hockey, is that men's hockey and women's hockey has no discernible difference. It's still full contact, it's still full pads, there isn't a shorter ice, it's the same game. So when you see someone like Michaela Knittel out there, that is a person who has competed at the same level as these guys. So I know it's an outdated philosophy that, oh, it's a girl on the team or whatever. That's good that it's outdated, because we have someone like Michaela Knittel who is just showing her toughness and really setting herself as one of the Affton Americans here who find themselves in a tie game.
There was a shot earlier from Charmatero that went high and wide. Flynn still guarding that net well. 1-1 remains the score. Back and forth. The speed of these skaters out here, you can see what separates them in this Bantam Red 1 division. Bain goes back to collect. Brown's back there defending alongside him. Stesler, Hammer, as well as O out there for the remaining Peoria guys. Hammer might get to it first. He will. It doesn't matter, though. Icing is the call. Stick with us after this, folks, on SBS. After this matchup between Peoria and Affton. Still here in the Red Tier 1, just in the other side of the bracket. The Yellowjackets will go against the Indy Fuel. That'll decide who's the other representative in the Red 1 championship. Kick it back to Tier 2 for the Ice Dogs and the Sabres. And then we're going to end the night, our nightcap, back in Tier 1, the Falcons versus St. Peter's. Supposed to drop at 8 p.m., running a little behind because of all these great overtime games that we've been witness to.
It's the magic of playoff hockey, but it really is just how competitive this league is, and it really speaks to the parity. Hockey is a game that's known for its parity. It's really talked about a lot in the NHL, but it sticks out when you've got these teams that are just back and forth, overtime, up and down. It's a great game to watch, and I couldn't be happier to be alongside you, D. This is a really solid game.
Let's keep things up as we're about to pass nearly the halfway point in this one. That was another save from Logan Flynn. I think that one went off his face. He's got to make another one. Strem out of the cup. He goes way up and over, maybe a little too excited in the crease.
Looking to find the skybox on that one.
Hey, he's got one heck of a slap shot on him, that's for sure. Pile flanking, getting to the middle. Zeiser, good save there, holding firm once again. Prewitt, and he'll cover that one up for yet another save.
Great save by Pruitt. He's just he's swallowing up the puck, not giving up those easy rebounds, and that is going to be the difference on the defensive side of the puck.
Full line change for both teams. Pretty long shift, I think, clocked by all 10 of the skaters out there on the ice.
Period of the long change, that'll happen. But you got to be smart about it. If you find yourself in the offensive zone, get those changes. Get your fresh legs out there so that you can try and take advantage of your opponent not having the same benefit.
Skating back to defend Jobin Brown, going around his net to avoid Petker, the lone goal scorer for the Affton Americans. Affton, good job of keeping in. Great chemistry there, jumping out of the way of that one-timer was Freddie Taylor. He had his head on a swivel.
And that's why they put the C on his jersey.
Certainly earned that through leadership and high hockey IQ. Clearly, we saw it there. And him and the team got to get back. Brody Stesler, clear and present danger to every defense he faces. Krieger, far side, back in the middle, backhanded, and saved once again by Prewitt.
Stesler lost an edge there for a second. He's just moving too fast for his own good.
It's a rare problem to have at this age, but if you use it appropriately, something tells me you have a career in this sport down the line.
Absolutely. I think I mentioned by name last time we saw him on the ice earlier today. Connor Bedard, Macklin Celebrini. It's that explosive speed that really sets you aside, creates that space that you can really take advantage of.
Jobin Brown retreats with a block. Tried to beat gloved by his teammate, but it's up to Paxton Zeiser. Hard hit is delivered into him. Somehow kept in by Zeiser and the team. Still in. Zeiser's just going to fire it in, but it's off the skate of Smith. Smith using that big frame to just really get in the way of these pucks. Even if he doesn't necessarily know exactly how he's going to do it, all that matters is defense is defense.
Use that big body to absorb a hit somewhat like that. Zeiser goes in and lowers the shoulder.
Paxton Zeiser packing a lot of punch in what he did. He delivered that hit. I believe that was on, it was on Reed Smith, number 67. Back in, gloves. Nope, man finally corralled. Zane Prewitt probably with a dozen saves on the day, if not more. 7:03 on the clock, so we really are at the halfway point of the game. And if this continues on the way it is, we go to an overtime, that's a different story. But a tie goes to Peoria. That's why we were saying winner take all with an asterisk on it. But both these teams not thinking of a tie right now. No sir, no how.
Honestly, you can just be surprised that we're only looking at a 1-1 score.
Yeah.
These teams do know how to score, and they've done it in boatloads.
They call that the unstoppable force and an immovable object. Something's got to give, however. What will give in the next 21 minutes of action out here on the ice?
Which team is going to blink first? It may not even come to that. I might be speaking a little too early, maybe 1 or 2 periods a little too early.
Oh, calling your shot, I see, Mr. Taylor. Trickles back down. It is Boehm to collect. Isaac Boehm. Seen him a lot on the ice. One of the many solid defenders from Peoria. Does his damage on the defensive side. They have more than enough offense to make up for it. Overby with a shot and a save from Flynn. Will leave it for his teammates in Brody Dice. Back in, forecheck pressure. Affton flipping the script. Dix will shoot. What a glove save, Logan Flynn. I don't even know how he saw that puck.
Logan Flynn, oh my goodness. Flashing the leather like that. You get that much space, you gotta let it rip. But when you're facing Logan Flynn, oh my goodness.
It's almost hard to draw an equivalent to that. I feel like a lot of times you can always say in other sports, I sometimes equate them to a baseball catcher. I don't know if they have as fast a reflexes as some of these goalies have to when that saucer's flying at him at a speed such as that.
A shout out to our USA men's Olympic hockey team, Braden Ottinger. A little bit, it looked like the otter there.
Go get it done in Italy, boys. Shot from Hammer. He wanted goal number 2, but went wide. Might have been blocked in the process. Neutral zone. Hammer into Zeiser. Ooh, he went full head of steam in the slot. Would have been scary. Got to get back and defend. Taylor, the captain. Save from Flynn. Rebound just wide of the reach. Liam Webb wanted to make him pay. Under everybody's stick, Taylor went all the way to try and get that one. Trickles down, 5:15 on the clock, icing.
Gotta quote Dick Vitale, he can drive, he can dish, he can deke. That's a three-dimensional player in Freddie Taylor.
That's awesome, baby.
3D, baby.
Dickie V, honestly, one of the minds I feel like growing up, I want to commentate like Dick Vitale. I know, he's lost a step a little bit, but Dickie V's still in there somewhere. I think you and I can agree on that.
One of the most solid commentators, had a lot to say about college basketball, and here's an opportunity for Stremlau.
He still goes up and wide. It's been the story of the game. Something Logan Flynn's doing, whether he's coming out of net, is making a lot of these shots go directly over the net. Credit to him. A lot of them are not going in, therefore.
Keeping his team in it. This is going to fall back to the goaltending, but I think that there are going to be so many variables that we can point to. Some of the physical play out here in the neutral zone. The goaltending, it's always going to come back to the goaltending, but the defensemen. On both teams, they haven't given up too many uncool shots. It's only been the two that have trickled in that we can complain about on the defensive side.
Entering the game for the Affton Americans, Caden Parks, the back tap trying to get it in. Webb onside at the right time when Stremlau got back. There's Caden Parks feeding it to his teammate at the point on the far side. Owen Shines has it, a rebound chance, scored!
Affton breaks through, they break the tie, it's Liam Webb right on the doorstep. You get a yawning cage like that, you have to bury it. Make no mistake about it, Liam Webb. That's a big goal. Pat yourself on the back, young man.
2-1, the Affton Americans with 2 unanswered to now take the lead in this win or go home final game of the playoffs for these two teams. Clearly, the formula to getting past Logan Flynn has been terrific all season, especially in these playoffs. You got to crash the net and be ready for those rebounds.
You really do. It's always going to be a rebound discussion because those are the ones where it's hardest to defend. That's a movement from left to right. It's going to be hard to get as any goaltender, even a top-performing one like Logan Flynn, who's got a couple shutouts to hang his hat on so far in this tournament. It's really impressive.
Another backhand chance. This time it was off the stick of Pecker, wanted goal number 2. But it wasn't a rebound chance, and Logan Flynn made sure there was no extra boards to be grabbed.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And this fool man can't get fooled again.
Any J. Cole fans out there in our audience? Or just George W. Bush and Jen? That's not important. Anyways. It's a good song, right?
It is a good song.
2 unanswered from the Affton Americans. If this result holds, they would be the ones advancing to our championship Sunday game tomorrow, which will also all be broadcasted, whether it's Bantam Red 1, 2, or 3, here on Sports Broadcast Solutions. And you'll have some familiar faces calling those games, Stephen Taylor and myself, Andy Diedrich.
Ooh, little extracurricular from the captain. Looks like it might be called here for an interference call.
Still not seeing Peoria get that frustrated despite the offside call. Cam Hammer charging in on that left of Paxton Zeiser, who was coming in. 3:12 remaining. Peoria would love to even this one up. Still feel like they're fine being within striking distance, however.
What you don't see is an air of panic coming from the boys in light blue. You're seeing a little bit of a locked-in mindset where they're just looking to get the next one. They've been here before, not against the Sabres earlier today, but they've trailed in the season, and they battled through that adversity and ended up with the number 1 seed. So they're not panicked. If anything, they're cool, calm, and collected, and looking for one from Dice from the blue line. Roll the dice, it's all 7s. And we are tied.
Steve, I couldn't have said it better myself. Brody Dice, there is no panic on that bench because now it's turned into celebration. Brody Dice had a goal last game, arguably a much bigger goal in this one. Game equalized 2-2, and those thoughts of overtime certainly creeping back into all of our minds.
One thing that does stick out is that we did have a penalty on that one. Looks like it's Charles Pyle in the box. Not sure if it was some sort of unsportsmanlike conduct. I've not seen any issue from any indication from the referee.
I didn't think I saw that the goal was disallowed. I'm pretty sure the goal was still counted. I think that's the most important thing for Peoria. But again, you're right. There is a man, which I believe you said was Charles Pyle, in the box for the Junior Stangs.
It is an unsportsmanlike conduct. It does not look like it's going to change the 5-on-5 action that we're about to see with this puck drop. Looks like it's going to be a 10-minute penalty, and he's just going to sit in the box and think about what he's done.
You mentioned it. You think it was something, the post-goal celebration, something either said or done to the opposing bench, a referee, whatever it may be?
There is a celebration as Overby gets an opportunity denied by Logan Flynn. There is a celebration going around that basically looks like a hand motion of "you stink." And so far the Packers forgot the player's exact name, because the Packers are very forgettable. They are 0-2 when he's done that celebration against the Bears.
You got to be careful saying that. We're in the state of Wisconsin, Mr. Taylor.
As I said before, we are in the Chicago area of Wisconsin.
Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin, the Recplex. We're here on the green rink. A whole lot of other hockey actions going on in the blue rink behind us. There's still a whole lot more hockey to be played. Like we said, this is game 5 of 8 that we're broadcasting here over on the green rink. Come say hi if you're in attendance here in Pleasant Prairie. Maybe we'll give you a shout out if you're cool enough. Honestly, we all like hockey. We're all cool enough. Let's just keep it real. Taylor aims, fires wide of Flynn, gets his rebound, but corralled. Another rebound chance goes wide. Parks is going to grab it. Up there with Hammer trying to defend. Under 2 minutes remaining in the second. Parks shoots, saved by Flynn. Rebound still out. Can't be frozen is the puck. Gotta catch my breath for a second. Relentless with charging, getting this puck in deep, trying to make something happen with it are the Affton Americans. Now it trickles out, and they will have to reset. Caden Parks over to Taylor.
Not able to get a change, but even clearing the zone is something that the Mustangs desperately needed, and now they're able to control it. Hammer just gonna dump it in.
Don't blame him there. They definitely needed a break, that most recent line that was out there for Peoria. And luckily able to keep a couple guys on the ice, get the icing call, and now they have an offensive advantage going back the other direction. Stesler enters the face-off circle. Krieger and Taylor to his left.
Webb is opposite, man. It looks like they'll call it Webb winning the face-off.
Stremlau leading the charge yet again to his left. Will shoot the strange angle, and Flynn on that near post goes ahead and takes care of business.
We're gearing up for another barn burner here with a minute left in the second.
I was about to say something very similar, Steve. It's another not super high scoring affair, but one that is clearly close enough where a couple inches of a puck going left or right or nowhere at all could spell the difference between getting to the championship game and getting sent home early. Brody Dice in the corner. Teammates following him. Stesler. It's wrapped around. Taylor will keep it in. Defense from Stremlau, who was charging up. We're under 40 seconds remaining in the second period.
And that'll be Fox Taylor for the Peoria Mustangs. No relation to Freddie Taylor, the captain of the Affton Americans.
Two great names. What can we say?
And they'll call that dead for a hand pass.
A couple more substitutions on for Peoria. We once again get to that, call it murky period of the second period of play. You're really comfortable with, oh, the game's tied. We could go in, take this break, and come out and just win the third. Or do we try to gas ourselves a little bit and get that one puck in the back of the net, which could be the last goal of the game the way things are going?
Every person on the team is thinking about the next goal. Everybody wants it. And looks like they may have an opportunity here as Zeiser gets broken up by, I believe that's Smith.
More good defense from Smith in front of the crease. Looks like they're just going to want to try and run this clock out the second and reset for the third. Strumlau will just fire it in from half, but an easy save from Flynn. 2 apiece at the end of the second period of this win-or-go-home game in the Bantam Red first tier. We're going to take a short break, but the third period and maybe some more free hockey are coming up right after this here on SBS.
When you fire up Big Ten Plus, you get more game, nonstop, around the clock. More live games you won't see anywhere else. More access to your team wherever you want 24/7. More stories. Unstoppable. More highlights. Whoa! More big-time playmakers. Plus, catch up to 4 games at once so you'll never miss more shots, spikes, and scores. Download the Big Ten Plus app today. It's always game on.
Home is more than a place. It's full of the people and moments that matter most. Providing for loved ones, expanding your horizons, or simply living the life you love. With all you have to protect, choose insurance you can count on so you can experience more of what you live for. Country Financial. Experience more.
Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin, here at the Recplex. Yet another game that's got this crowd energized, as well as the broadcasters standing up here in the booth. Steve Taylor is alongside me, Andy Diedrich. 14 more minutes of hockey and then some. This winner will go on a score! Lightning fast out of the third period. The Americans are up.
Make no mistake about it. Dix gets the opportunity right in front of the net and he lets her rip. It's not about how fast you shoot it, it's about how quick you release it. Goes 5-hole on Logan Flynn, and we've got the edge going to the Americans thus far.
The Americans seemingly understand what I was about to tell the audience at home, that this is win or go home for them and their opponent in the Peoria Mustangs. Landry Dix, a beautiful 5-hole shot. Almost an immediate answer from Paxton Zeiser. A bit of extracurricular activities going on after that, but now it's Peoria that has to come back from a deficit, something they haven't really been too familiar with all season.
Looks like a little warning given to Hammer, letting him know that they didn't really appreciate the icing of the goaltender.
Zeiser against Taylor. Kept in with a nice glove from Boehm.
Zeiser and Taylor both in the center face-off dot. They are looking at each other. It looked like they had a couple words to exchange as Taylor breaks free.
3-on-1, score! What on earth has gone on in the first 29 seconds of this third period? Affton Americans.
It's Freddie Taylor. He understands the assignment. He'll bring it in himself, and he's looking at his teammates. He's a leader. That's why he's got the C on his chest, but he'll let it rip himself, and that's a score. It's 4-2 Americans, and the Peoria Mustangs are going to call timeout.
They will call their 160-second timeout that they get per game. You only get one. Once you use it, you cannot. I had that backwards. Once you use it, you lose it. I almost say you don't lose it, but that doesn't make sense. The point is, Peoria really wants to talk this over, and I think understanding that time is of the essence. If they end regulation down, that's it on their season.
This is what I was talking about a couple games back, where it's not so much that you have to save your timeout until you need it later in the game. You want to use it, if you need to control momentum, you want to step in and use it as soon as you can. And that's what it is here. They want to stop the bleeding. It is only 2 goals down. There's plenty of game left. However, this is 30 seconds into the final frame. You got to get control of this game.
think that's exactly what the coaching staff saw. Some might be afraid to call the timeout so early into the final frame. I think that coaching staff of Peoria making the right call. You got to remember the age group of the team that is out there you're trying to coach up and get back to win this game. They might need a little extra reinforcement, a little extra boost to go out there for that last stretch. I know it certainly would help me at this age.
Absolutely. We're talking about this is where the mental toughness can really set itself aside. Let's see if it can be shown what kind of mental toughness the Peoria Mustangs have inside them.
So 4 goals from the Affton Americans from 4 different goal scorers. Freddie Taylor and Landry Dix opening things up in the third. Are they hungry for yet another goal in this young third period?
Almost an amazing toe drag by Taylor, and he's not giving up. He does it on both ends of the ice. Taylor still on his feet, breaking away. He's got Petker. It trickles in.
He scores again! Are you kidding?
Freddie Taylor, oh my goodness!
And 3 unanswered goals within a minute of the third is actually going to constitute a goalie change for Peoria, something that was unheard of for the first 5 periods we watched of this Peoria team. Logan Flynn exits, Harrison Kimball comes on.
If you had told me earlier this morning that Logan Flynn would be seated in the third period of the winner-take-all match, I would have laughed in your face. And that's not even any disrespect. I want to make sure that Logan Flynn knows he had an amazing night. He's got a lot to be proud of, young man. That is an incredible performance by Freddie Taylor, who will just let it rip. He loves it. He's on the inside of the dots, and he's going to fire.
Steve, we were in the midst of talking about Freddie Taylor's performance on both ends of the puck. Even before he scored the first goal, now he's got 2 in less than a minute.
2 goals and an assist on the night so far. He's going to be thinking about the HT, but I know he's going to be satisfied with a win.
Affton, you might call that the dagger already, but maybe nothing's quite out of reach for Peoria. They can net one more, however, on the goalie Harrison Kimball, who just came in. We're in an offside call. I mean, words are hard to put to what we just witnessed compared to the first 2 periods and then that within 60 seconds. Unbelievable stuff.
I have to know what was said on the bench, because that seems to be the difference maker so far. It's incredible how Coach Mark Polechek just brought his team in at the intermission, and immediately it turns around into 3 unanswered goals in the first 2 minutes of the final frame.
One more chance for Affton, but the defense is there. Brody Dice takes it the other way. Mustangs know they have a 3-goal deficit. Not quite grasping at straws yet, but desperation might start to mount in the coming minutes. Hard hit, and falling to his keister is Brody Dice. Off the boards, now kept in by Affton. They're smelling blood in the water. They're trying to keep this in as long as they can. Now it's finally out in favor of the Mustangs. Dice over there with Stesler. He runs into his teammate for a brief moment. Off and running is Krieger. Now it's the other way. Number 75, Lemire Dormer. Back out, one-timer. Saved by Kimball. The referee blows it dead, and I'm not sure why, unless the net came off. No, he is going to call something. I thought he maybe mistakenly blew it because the puck was frozen. We were going to get a face-off like the puck was frozen anyways. I'm not quite sure what happened there, Steve.
I'm not 100% sure. Now, the letter of the law is as soon as the ref loses sight of the puck, that's when they're going to call it dead. But the issue with that is that technically you're not looking at the puck 100% of the time. So it's an imperfect way of ruling it. And so even when we see the puck ourselves from the broadcast go into the corner, if the ref didn't see that, technically they can just call it dead as Zeiser brings it into the other end.
Zeiser, 3 goals earlier this morning against the Sabres in that impressive 9-0 drubbing to get them in this place as the favorite to move on to the title game tomorrow. But there's a reason they play these games, Steve. The Affton Americans, not like they came out of nowhere, finishing 4th in the regular season. But after that early Peoria performance, I think a lot of fans from both teams really thought Peoria was the team in pole position so far.
I really did too. And this is where things get kind of interesting. So Harrison Kimball enters the game, but that's something that he probably didn't expect to do 2 minutes prior. He entered the game with 12 minutes left in the period, and at the intermission, I think he thought he was just going to coast out for the rest of the day. But alas, he's brought in, and not really any time to warm up or get your eyes set, so you got to hope that he's still warm from the warm-ups, which was about an hour ago at this point. So it's really tough to come in late in the game in a goaltending position, especially with the game on the line, with the season on the line. But we'll see how he handles it. So far, been really good.
We'll use one of our favorite hockey quotes again. Hockey is 90% mental, the other half is physical. Something like that.
That sounds right.
Yeah, close enough. Back to neutral ice. Does Taylor want the HT? Nice set of moves to his left, but Bain was playing good defense, and now Stezler coming over the block. He hits a hard Taylor into the boards. The double team. Puck trickles out to Stezler. To the middle, Brody Dice. Peoria unable to string together more than a couple passes and matriculate that puck down to the other side of the rink. Let's see if that changes here. Stezler, Krieger. Stezler will keep it in. Absorbs a hit. Now the puck's in deep behind the net. 9.5 minutes remaining.
If you're the Peoria Mustangs, you can't play selfish hockey right now. Everybody wants to be the hero, but you got to get that first goal first. Here comes Dice.
Dice
looking to do just that.
Swing and a miss. That was a goal scorer before. One of the targets, certainly, for the Affton defense. Dice once again is just going to send it in. Zeiser almost had it after the bat down from Shine. And it's still in. Great stick at the last second from Landry Dix. He's mainly been on the ice for his defensive stuff, but he's got a goal tonight. Offensive outburst from the Affton Americans team, and arguably probably the biggest game of their season.
Dix, the big equalizer earlier this game. Solid performance.
Bouncing puck is kneed out of harm's way by Prewitt. Haven't called his name in a while because that offense has just been cooking. Overby shoots high. Harrison Kimball also stands tall in the net, just as tall as Logan Flynn, if not a little bit bigger. Certainly he's going to have to go the rest of the way with a clean sheet himself if they want a chance. Right in the breadbasket. That's another save for Kimball.
It's almost like how Stella got her groove back for the Affton Americans. 5-0 back in October when they last played Peoria. Or excuse me, when they first played Peoria this season. On the opposite end, they had 3 in a row that they lost. Now this game's not over, and as they say, 3 is the most dangerous lead in hockey.
How about 4? No! Referee saying no goal right now. Play still continues. Now there's a score! What on earth is happening? Reed Smith with a rifle, and now the lead is 4.
Coach is looking for an explanation there. Looked like the play was almost called dead. I thought I heard a whistle, but I didn't, and sure enough, that's another goal in the pocket of the Affton Americans.
Almost at a loss for words of just how that played out. It looked like a goal. Everybody thought it was a goal except the referee indicating no. Puck back out to Reed Smith. And man, that puck had to be traveling over the speed limit to get in the back of that net.
Pulled over, but not until it hits the back of the nylon.
So the tides have turned, to say the least. We entered this period tied 2 apiece. Momentum not really swinging one way or the other. And 6 minutes of game time later, it is now a 4-goal lead for the underdog in the Affton Americans. Wow, is all I have to say.
Just an incredible performance. I didn't even catch the goal scorer on that one. I was too worried because I thought that it was going to be a goaltender interference call as to why the goal did not count.
It was Reed Smith, big number 67, just absolutely firing that one in there. He had a shot earlier that possession that whizzed about a foot above the bar, but still was absolutely scorching through that air.
Great shot.
Affton not done. Stremlau, what can he do with it? Kimball couldn't glove it, still loose. Now he does corral it with a paw on it. 7.5 minutes to go. I think some of the Peoria bench, coaches, fans, and a little bit of disbelief, Steve.
It's just silence. I don't think the team is fully demoralized. I think they're still trying to do what they can out there and get the wins, win the 50-50 battles, but I mean, it's just like a pin drop on one half of the arena.
Another save from Kimball, though. He's been competent since hopping in. That strange sequence before, it's hard to pin that one on him. Sometimes we kept talking about that puck luck. I think it's ever prevalent at this level on how some of these games turn out.
Absolutely, especially on some of those goals that started this period off. It looked like Logan Flynn just couldn't locate it, and by the end of it, it was just a bad luck sort of call. You can't blame the refs on that one. That's just a bad bounce. And it's not just you can't blame the refs because you'll get a game misconduct either.
I've already seen a couple of those today. There is still someone serving the game misconduct in there for Peoria. One more chance for Affton. Webb backhanded, but it goes wide. The defense there, great job mirroring him. Not sure who that was for the Mustangs. See when he turns his jersey. Looks like it was Mason Wagers. Great defense by him. Shot, saved, rebound, flicked out of there at the last moment. Chance Wagner getting his stick involved. Hard hit off the skate, another shove after the whistle. Stesler tied up with Webb on that side in front of the Affton bench. Dice, nice set of moves. They need a response, they need it now. Brody Dice, what a save though! Take a bow, Zane Prewitt. Your name hasn't been called a lot, but when it has held big time.
Zane Pruitt. They talk about the Swiss cheese model when they talk about getting through the defense like that. Missed one, missed two, but he found some cheese, and it's all Zane Pruitt. Keeping it 6-2.
Loose rebound, second chance. Another save from Prewitt. This time he will fall on it. Some more physicality after the play was dead. Teams exchanging pleasantries. Still, the point remains, Zane Prewitt off of the faceoff where Peoria's been so dangerous. Getting some love from the team, and deservingly so.
It's a real tough one there. You don't want to see these altercations between the kids, but they're sticking up for their goaltender, and that is hockey. That is how this game is played.
Oh, on the far side, no, he will wait and let Zeiser go for it, but now it's out to Bame. Almost under his skate, over to Landry Dix. Dix is in. Taylor, Pecker back in the slot. Nice little stop-start action. There's Pecker on this side. We'll angle it, loose in the crease. Puck still loose. Couple blocks there. Great job from Kimball. Unable to come away with a goal are the Americans. Nice set of move back to the inside. Cam Hammer, the goalie, wanted some sort of call there, and looks like he will get one. Cam Hammer goes down into the penalty box. I think it's going to be Brexton Pecker.
It is, and it'll be a hooking call as Petker goes to sit down. Back at the other end, Landry Dix, oh my goodness. Great opportunity right in front of the net. You couldn't ask for a better chance, and I'm sure he's going to be kicking himself for not burying that one. Those are the kinds of goals that you miss that you see in your sleep.
4-goal cushion might help with that, but still, a goal's a goal. Everyone likes their name in the stat book. Fighting in the corner, hard to see from this point of view. Puck still loose. Now it's Bame near the point. Dice wanted a redirect, but that shot was way wide anyways. Trickles back out to Bame on the boards. Hard hit. I can only hear it. We got some spectators in the way, but more physical hockey. What else is new?
If you're having trouble with the stick handling game, you're going to try and control the physical game. And that seems to be what the Mustangs are trying to do.
Prewitt's going to freeze that one. I thought maybe just to get No, but I thought they are gonna get a couple substitutions in. There we go. They still have a minute 21 of this penalty kill to Weather, of course, after Petker visited the box. Again, though, maybe not as important of a PK as time continues to tick down. Even if that 4-goal lead becomes a 3-goal lead, maybe not the worst thing in the world. Shot near the point. Redirect off Wagers. He'll go to collect.
Zeisser, Dyson, Wagner looking to get something going here on this power play. Hammer back on the D-line. Joined by number 25.
Hammer first
Isaac
enter.
Boehm.
Might have been offside a little bit. Loose puck now pawed at by Prewitt. Yet another save. Hasn't let up a goal and seemingly, I'm not even sure when the last goal was. End of the first? Middle of the second? Whatever it was. Clean third period so far for ZP.
One thing that you can notice about these teams is the contrast between some of the kids having the old school cage helmet and some kids having the new plastic cage that has a glass front, or not glass, but a clear front where you're actually able to see everything in front of you. I'm still partial to the old former cage. I don't mind a little obstruction as long as the puck's not getting through.
Nothing wrong with being a little old school, especially in a sport as old as hockey, no?
Old-time hockey sure is a thing. It still is a thing even in this level.
Just made every hockey dad in America happy by saying that, Steve. Another glove save for Zane Prewitt. He's going to have himself a nice little evening. We don't have the shots on goal statistics, but if we did, again, his save count might be north of 25 into the 30 range.
He's standing on his head. He's not just keeping his team in it. He's leading his team all the way to potentially the finals. We're about 4 minutes from finding out for sure.
This is most likely the last gasp for Peoria. They have half a minute to score on the power play. If they can't muster a goal through that, unfortunately, their magical season, being number one in the regular season, 15 wins, 5 losses, might come to an end earlier than they thought.
Something important to note at this level is the way that the offsides work. It's not simply dumping it in and letting your guys get back on sides. It just, if your guy is in the zone and it crosses the blue line, then that's it. They'll call the play dead and have a face-off here at center ice.
We'll have a face-off back at center ice. Brand won that. Back to Shine. Center ice reversed. Peoria taking their time, and that's going to be a successful penalty kill for the Affton Americans. Coming out of the box is Petker. Replacing him is number 75, Lemire Dermer. Shot is swallowed up in there, but bounced back out.
Dice looking to see if he could find any life, any sign of light on the near side of Zane Prewitt. Unable to do so, and we play on.
Just about 3 minutes left in the third. And again, just to give a summary here, we went into this one thinking we might get overtime. Now there's a chance we might have a running clock because of the 5-goal mercy rule. I don't know how many times I've seen that in the sport of hockey.
And that's going to be where things get kind of interesting in postgame. This is not going to be a 6-2 final by every definition. This is much closer to a 3-2 final, even 3-2 in overtime. It's just the extra period was the third period in this case. It's a much closer game than the score is going to show. And if you're the Peoria Mustangs, I don't want you to hang your head. I don't want you to be feeling too bad about this as the puck is played with a high stick. You've got a lot to be proud of about your season, not just about the season, but about this game. This Affton American team, incredible performance down the stretch. But don't look at this as just like, oh, I lost to the better team. Maybe, but you were right there with them throughout the entire frame.
It's a good point, Steve. Hopefully the Mustangs heed the words of advice you gave. The high stick will give us back to the other end. Something tells me Affton's not done yet. They seemingly continue and put the foot on the gas a little bit. Wanted to get another goal. Even though their trip to the title game is all but booked, and if we haven't said it already, that game for the Bantam Red Tier 1 title game is going to be right here where we're standing. The green rink here at Pleasant Prairie's Recplex. 10:20 a.m. is the scheduled puck drop, and you can watch it right here on Sports Broadcast Solutions. Or come to Pleasant Prairie and say hi.
Make the trip up from Chicago, down from Milwaukee, up from St. Louis, Indianapolis, and all the other teams' affiliate locations for the CSDHL.
I'm upset Ohio's not in this league. That's probably a little too far, though, isn't it?
Then we start to get into debating what's a central state and where's the Midwest. We'll be here all night.
That's how we need to garner engagement in the YouTube chat is X state a Midwest state or not? Because then people will argue about it and drive up the engagement. These are things you got to talk about when you have game endings to the games like this, unfortunately. Again, not how any team I thought this would go. I don't think Affton thought they were going to come out of here with a 4-goal victory. If anything, they were maybe hoping to squeeze one out, but dominate like this, I'm not sure if they even thought that going into it.
Oh, absolutely not. This was, they knew that this was going to be a hard-fought game, and it really was. And I don't think that they expected to be up by 4 goals at any point in this game. As Zeisser trying to make it less, and it'll be off the top crossbar. And as far as the third period's concerned, at the very least, Pruitt will remain perfect.
It's just been that kind of game for Peoria. It's very similar play for Zeisser. Had 3 in the first game, 2 of them on a play that looked just like that. But this time, hits the goalie, hits the bar, and it doesn't go down. It goes straight up, another stoppage. And it's going to all but do it. We'll see. We're going to cross some T's and dot some I's, but the Affton Americans, maybe the story of this Saturday of hockey so far. We thought it was going to be the Peoria Mustangs after that 9-0 performance. That goes to show you they play the games for a reason.
Absolutely, and that's a Marc-Andre Fleury-esque idea. You always thank your posts and your crossbars because they're always helping you out. Until they aren't, but thank them while you thank them.
There's a lot to be grateful for in the sport of hockey. What some people are grateful for, some people may go home and curse, unfortunately. Game of inches. It's a cliche, I know, and I know you know that, and all the viewers know that. But how many times does it really hold true? And you can point to that and say, if that puck or that stick was 2 inches to the left, we win or we lose, something else.
You can say it from holding the stick, from being right there and collecting those hits, and you can say it from up here in the press box. It's always a game of inches. It's always back and forth. And you can point to everything that might have been one thing or another. But in the end, with 25 seconds and it ticks down below all of that, it's looking like it's going to be a 6-2 final.
Taylor, one last chance for Affton. He wants the hat trick. Will he get it? Puck still loose. Kimball's going to grab it with 11.3. Probably the last chance for Affton. I think they're still happy with a 4-goal win. We're going to go ahead and look at the remaining games that we're going to be broadcasting here at SBS tonight. Coming up next, we have another matchup of the Bantam Red Tier 1. The winner of the Yellowjackets and Indy Fuel will go on to play the Affton Americans in that title game tomorrow morning. Kick it back to Tier 2 with the Ice Dogs and Sabres. And then our nightcap, another Tier 1 game between Falcons and St. Peter's. We hope you're with us for all of those. Click on those different links. Give us a listen, watch some playoff hockey. One last save seals it from Zane Prewitt. The Affton Americans, a 4-goal outburst in the third period. They seal the deal and move on to the Bantam Red 1 title game by a score of 6-2.
If you're wearing red right now, to quote Eddie Olczyk, you're a whole bunch of happy humans. The Affton Americans, we'll see you tomorrow at 10:20 right here on Sports Broadcast Solutions. But much respect over to the other side of the ice. That is a very good Peoria Mustangs team. I look forward to seeing what everybody on the ice right now is doing in the future.
Steve Taylor, I look forward to being next to you as I'm Andy Diedrich, and that was our presentation of this playoff hockey in the CSDHL. If you want to stick with us, we got 3 more games coming your way. But signing off for now, here at Pleasant Prairie, we'll see you next time.
When you fire up Big Ten Plus, you get more game,